They said it was coming out today, and today it did. The brand new Mandalorian and Grogu trailer dropped online today. Now, of course, this comes on the heels of a couple of things. Number one of the stupidest, dumbest, most inept, incompetent moves I've ever seen in movie marketing, where they literally spent about $10 million of the marketing budget on Mandalorian and Grogu for a frickin' spoof Clydesdale Budweiser ad spoof instead of dropping an actual trailer at the Super Bowl. I'm not saying you had to drop a trailer at the Super Bowl, but if you got a limited amount of money to spend on your marketing, why did you do that? Anyway, then it also came on the heels of a little teaser that they dropped yesterday. And I said, as somebody who's been fairly skeptical about this upcoming Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I said, you know what? The teaser hit the right notes. And so we'll see how the trailer itself turns out. And I've got thoughts. Now, understand again the background of this. I have been skeptical about this. I still question about why you're just making the first Star Wars movie in 7 years in theaters an extension of the TV show. The fact that you're doing it coming off of universally agreed upon the weakest season of The Mandalorian, which was not very good. You know, all that kind of stuff. Wasn't thrilled with the first little teaser trailer they put out a while ago. Hated what they did at the Super Bowl. And so now here we are. Not a bad trailer. You know, I sat down and watched it this morning with my wife, Anne, and when it ended, my wife said, well, this is the first thing I've seen from this movie that's making me actually look forward to go seeing it. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, again, using that classic Star Wars iconography there, you know, with the X-Wings, I liked, as a guy who loved Rebels, I like seeing Zeb. So seeing Zeb being back in there, I like seeing that too. The buff Hutt cage fighter looked a little bit better than I thought he was going to look like. You know, seeing little Baby Yoda jump in the stroller that actually has rocket boosters on it. I'm not going to lie, I got a kick out of that. So yeah, I think overall, I was pleasantly surprised by this trailer. I thought it was pretty good. That said, two big concerns I still have. This is now like the first full trailer, but they already dropped that first teaser. And I said, I don't mind that you're not giving us any of the story because it's just the first teaser. That's traditional. Wait till the next trailer. I watched this trailer. I couldn't tell you what the story of this movie is at all. I'm not saying give away spoilers. So I'm saying tell us what the movie's about. And all I know from watching this trailer, and again, remember, I've already said I think it's a pretty good trailer. But all I know from this trailer is that it's the next episode of The Mandalorian. That's all I know.
Yeah. They need to get Grogu somewhere. That's about all I could gather.
Yeah, apparently he's going to protect Grogu. The same thing he's done in every season. That leads me to my second concern. As much as I think that this was a pretty darn good trailer, it still just felt like a trailer to an upcoming episode of a TV show. Come on, guys. Be honest. It really just did feel like this week on Mandalorian, and it just felt like another commercial for another TV show. Nothing about this feels cinematic. Nothing about this feels like it has an epicness to it that demands it jump from the small screen to the big screen. And certainly nothing about it told me that this was worth waiting 7 years for. So, yeah, it still doesn't tell me at all what this is other than another episode of Mandalorian. It still just felt like a trailer for another episode of a television show. But given all of that, it was still a pretty good trailer. At least it's the best thing they've put out so far. And it's the first thing, Rob, that I'll admit moved the needle at least a little bit for me. Because, you know, I haven't been all that excited about this. I can at least say this was the first time after watching this going, yeah, I'll look forward to watching this to see what it is. And that's the most I've felt so far. So in that regard, considering that this trailer did move the needle a little bit for me, I got to call the trailer a success because it has increased my interest in the movie at least a little bit, but I still carry some major concerns that they have not been able to address yet. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Factor. Cold days, packed schedules, and let's be honest, when February hits, staying on track with eating well gets tough. And that's why I love Factor. Factor makes eating healthy deliciously easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs so you can eat well without the planning, shopping, or cooking. One of my main go-to meals lately is their high protein options. You're getting quality functional ingredients like lean proteins, colorful vegetables, whole foods, and healthy fats. Plus, they have over 100 rotating weekly meals, including Calorie Smart, Mediterranean, GLP-1 support, ready-to-eat salads, and even their new Muscle Pro collection for strength and recovery. Everything arrives fresh, never frozen, and is ready in about 2 minutes. All that and more is why I highly recommend Factor. Head to factormeals.com/Campea50off and use the code Campea50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by plan. One free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active. Anyway, Rob, this is kind of like, they've dropped this new trailer, bunch of stuff in it. How did you feel about it?
I think, like you said, it looks like another episode of The Mandalorian. Do you know what I really missed? One of the things about The Mandalorian show is, and the Star Wars universe in general, is all the rich characters. Like, I loved, for instance, seeing Cobb Vanth. I loved seeing Bill Burr's character in the second season of Mandalorian. I liked seeing all the characters that populate the Mandalorian universe that the Mandalorian interacts with. Other than Sigourney Weaver, and you see that the Mandalorian's fighting a bunch of people, but they show us all these characters, but I want to have them talk to me. I want to feel that I'm in a universe full of Star Wars characters that are interesting. I mean, even if you have an exchange like in Mos Eisley when Han Solo says, "Over my dead body," and Greedo's like, "That's the idea." That alone, just that little bit. They're showing all this stuff. First of all, I thought Pedro Pascal's voiceover was laconic. It felt like he was sleepwalking through this trailer. And I'm looking at this and I'm waiting. I wanted to be excited, but they're playing gags that we've already seen a million times. Okay, so the rocket, I agree with you. The rocket pram was awesome, whatever that is. But God, how many times do we have to play this? By this time, we all know that he's 50 years old. He's got something going on. Give him more to do. They're just playing these old beats. It feels like I'm watching a familiar blanket run the paces through a TV movie trailer. And it's like, show me something that gets me excited. I liked hearing Sigourney Weaver talk, a little bit. But even she's like the good guy. Give me some colorful back and forth with some characters I'm excited about that I want to buy the action figures of.
There was one shot, and I don't know if it was like a Knight of Ren, and he made that statement. And well, actually, he wasn't speaking. It was actually voiceover of a hut saying, "We're gonna hurt you, and then we'll hurt him." But it sounded like it was one of the Knights of Ren. Had they expanded on that Knights of Ren are trying to find him, then you understand how that works with the new First Order. And you know what I mean?
Something they keep playing these.
Now remember,
beats.
this is prior to the emergence of the First Order.
But it's building. Yeah. It's building toward
But it's still, you got the Imperial remnants, whatever. I looked at this and I'm like, I don't need to watch him strap in Grogu again. I don't need don't press those buttons. Like, really?
And then save that for later, the eating thing.
Yeah, it's like, these are things that we have seen these jokes over and over again. And if this is what they're showing me, I can't get excited for this. But I will say this, it was better than anything we've seen. And I looked at it and I said, there's some scope here. There's something going on. I'm at least interested to see it. But again, it's like, guys, where's the cinematic nature of it? You are showing me things I've already seen. That's the thing that bugged me the most. Here's the thing. I want to love this, John. I want to love it. I want it to be great. I really do. But I'm looking at this and I'm showing, like, how many more times do I have to see these jokes that, okay, Grogu. No, Grogu's a wise guy. He's a badass.
Yeah, wise guy.
Show me him being a badass. I don't need to show another, don't touch that button. Really? Aren't we past that?
Like the most you saw was he destroyed that little bot. That little 6.
Yeah,
bot.
that little droid, that droid. Again, look.
I mean, the Gonk droid? You can't
Yeah.
destroy a Gonk droid.
They
Why'd
did.
you do that? I know.
In the bigger picture of it, I think it's the best piece of marketing they put out yet. I think it did look charming. It just, and I am now today, because of this trailer, more interested in seeing the
Yes.
movie than I was before. Again, though, my two big concerns is that it just feels like another episode of a television show. It does not feel cinematic. It does not feel like there's any, I haven't seen any justification in the trailer for why this has to make the jump from the small screen to the big screen. And I am worried about the potential of the movie. I'm worried about it. But again, this is at least the first positive thing I've seen. So we've got another major trailer coming from it in another month or so, about 6 weeks. We're going to get another trailer for it. Hopefully that one will push it over the edge, and we'll see. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? How did you feel about the new Mandalorian and Grogu trailer? Listen, despite the fact that it hasn't addressed any of my major concerns, and it does still just feel like another episode of the TV show, it at least was a pretty good trailer and at least made me a little bit more interested in the series. It's the best thing they put out so far, I think. I don't know. Whatever you guys feel about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.